And there you are. I recognize that guy. I know who that is. Hello, Texas. Don't turn that dial. This is the Fly Mackey Show. And I'm your host, Fly Mackey. Good to be here tonight. Hello, Corpus Christi and Houston and College Station and Beaumont, Texas, as well as Lake Charles, Louisiana. This episode is brought to you by A1 Roofing. These guys are licensed, bonded, insured. They do manufacturer installs. These guys put your roof on. You ain't got to worry about it again. They ain't the cheapest. They're not the most expensive. But when they put it on, you can guarantee it's going to stay on. And there you go. That's what you want, right? Measure twice, cut once. That's the old saying, okay? You get what you pay for. There's another old saying. What's some other sayings? Boy, I could go on and on and on and on. The prices never go down. You can thank the politicians, and I'm not being political, okay? But you can thank the politicians for, what they've done to our country over the last 100 years, totally screwed it up. You can't trust one of them. Most of them have no credit. That's the truth. I go to a video and show you. Most of them have no credit, can't get credit, have gone into bankruptcy. They can't even manage their own business and homes. A third of them have been arrested. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm not against them. I'm for them. But these are the people who are running our country. The price of eggs, I'm going to go sideways for just a minute, guys, but I own the network and I can do it. I bumped every night from 7 p.m. It's 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. And then I take a break from 10 to 11. And then I come back on from 11 to midnight Central Standard Time. And I do another show. Sometimes I go 3 or 4 hours. I'll bump whoever we have on here. But once again, I own the network. You can do whatever you want. And I sure enjoy doing it. So anyway, thank you, Faith, for getting me on. My faithful Faith. Don't know what I'd do without you and Ricky. I can tell you that. You guys do great work over there. So once again, I'm Fly Mackey, the CEO and founder of Smart Money Culture TV. You can call me Fly. I like that name. I was adopted by a Jewish mother and an Irish Catholic father. They named me David Mackey. I like that name too. Amber calls me Dick. So I'll go by, and she's young and fresh. I'm telling you, I like them that way. 27 years younger than me. That's okay. As long as she likes me, that's all I care about, okay? Anyway, let's get back to this. Had some really great experiences today. Had some good people that invested in our company. I say they invest because they hire you. When they hire you, it's just like investing into the company. We had a few that said no. That's the way it works. We don't do callbacks. I don't. It's a nice way of saying no, but I can't waste my time, and you can't either. I mean, when you drive 270 miles in one day, and somebody says, can you come back? No, because tomorrow I'm going to do another 270. Now, I'm not always going to do this. Down the road, every once in a while, somebody said, well, I want to hire you. And I said, I'll send you the contract. It's good for 24 hours if you sign it. Most of them don't, because they want you to come back and waste your time again, because they'll fiddle fart around and don't want to pull the trigger. That's okay. It's your home, guys and gals, and we love you all. We want the best for you all, and we hope that you all do really well, and most of you do. Thank goodness, with or without us, okay? All right. So anyway, let's take a look at Bitcoin real quick, and then I want to go down the trail. So of one of our clients that came on, lady making $12,000 a month, and then of course her bills going out. But I'm going to show you exactly how we laid it out to her. She got so excited. If she's going to follow, because she decided, she hired the company, number one. But if she follows these strategies, we're not financial advisors, but anybody can do this. She's going to save herself $514,001 in interest payment. Now, if she continues to follow these strategies, she's going to wind up paying that $514,000 to herself in her own banking system. If you own a 401k, the same thing. Borrow and pay yourself back. But instead of paying it back in one big lump sum, make sure that you pay it back just like you would the bank. And all that interest that you would have paid them, pay you. It's the way it works, man. Only 1% of America does the infinite banking strategy. 1%. You don't have to be rich to do it, but you know, anybody can do it. Anybody. I showed people that made, 30,000 a year to people that made, millions. I recognize though, the more you make, the harder it is for them to say, I don't know. I think I know more than you. I'm like, I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. You don't have to know more. It's up to you. And it doesn't just happen overnight. A lot of times it takes a minute for people to get their mind around the concept of velocity banking and infinite banking concepts. But anyway, we're going to go into that. If I could take a look at Bitcoin for just a second, and then I'm going to get to this. I'm going to blow you away. We went back to the lady's house that we just signed up, and she was so excited. She goes, I can't believe I hired you guys. I said, me neither. I love it. Anyway, I know I got problems. You're going to get old one day. I'm still looking for the guy who shit my pants this morning. When you get as old as me, you go, what happened? And you realize, oh, I did it. I did it to myself. Let's take a look at Bitcoin here real quick, and then we're going to move on, okay? So you're looking here. Let's use this one right here. You ready? Let's look at this. This is Live Coin Watch. I like using these guys. I use them all the time. They're not a sponsor of the show, but they have sponsored us before. The Bitcoin right now, priced out at $64,297.06. And there you go right there. I was just with, by the way, this right here, and those of you guys know my story, you heard me talk about myself. It's all over the internet. I've talked about myself many times. Just to let you know, I went from the outhouse to the penthouse, back to the outhouse, et cetera, et cetera. I think it's better to have a simple living. But once again, you do you, America. You do you, okay? And if you want to get something, get it. If you want to buy the nicest things, get it. It doesn't matter when you learn how to be your own banker. Some people get it. Most don't, and that's okay. But let's get back to Bitcoin right here. I want you to look at this real quick. Bitcoin trading at $64,251.75. The market cap is $1,269 billion. The volume traded today was 26 billion. So the volume's down a little bit. Normally it trades about 35 to 50 billion dollars a day. So it's down 2%. Typically it trades about 5% of the volume market cap per day. It's down to 2%. So buyer beware, be careful, not giving any advice. And the all-time high, $73,781.21. All right, I'm already starting to get messages over here. I'm going to get to the velocity banking, guys. Hold on a second. I was going to take calls tonight. I may take some calls at the 9 o'clock hour, okay? But for now, I'm not going to take any calls during this hour. But you can send us a message. You can go to smartmoneyculture.tv/credit, and you can fill that out if you want, or you can send us a message through there as well, okay? People ask me all the time, how much credit do you normally get when you help us get credit? Typically, somewhere between 50,000 and 300,000 in phase one or round one of funding. Anybody can get it. It's not that hard to get. Whenever you pay cash, cash is trash. Now, I was with a couple earlier that said that they were going to borrow out of their 401k. Smart move. That's the way to do it. And then make sure you pay yourself back, not at one time, but in those installment payments, just like you would a bank, and take all those payments, interest payments, and pay yourself. Okay. Anyway, let's get back to looking at this Bitcoin right here. Just a second. And then we're going to get out of here on this. Okay. You're looking here, what it's been trading, where it's at. Here's right here. I really want to get a different chart, but we'll see. There is where it's trading at now. Yeah, we'll see. It's starting to move a little bit. Let's see if it can make another move up. We'll know here soon. It's in the buy market here. See here, TradingView has it in the buy. It's in the buy market. They have it buy. Let's see what happens here. Let's look at the chart. Okay, here we go. Now I'm just going to take a minute, guys and gals. Y'all stick with me. Y'all stick with me. Stick with me, because I'm fixing to get to this velocity banking and what we did for this lady, make in saving her. She's going to save $514,001 of interest that she would have paid the bank. If you have a mortgage, and you're paying them instead of yourself, in our opinion, you're doing it all wrong. Why would you pay somebody else, like a bank, all those interest payments when you could pay yourself? Let's do the math on this, okay? Hold on one second. You want to see something? This is incredible. Let's do this chart right here. I'm going to spend about 5 minutes, and then over the next 40 minutes, I'm going to go over this velocity banking, which is really cool stuff. Let's take a look here. I'm going to do a simple chart. No. I'm going to do a simple chart here. This is not like Matt Dixon would do, and it's not the same charting. This is based right here. Hi, Faith. This is based on a weekly chart. Let me spread this out a little bit, okay? There's the all-time high. And if you take it just like that, see how, now this is how you do basic charting, but you want to take it down. There you go, to the all-time high. And so it hit this candle here on Monday, the 11th of March. It barely missed this one here on the 8th of April. Is that a better chart right there? Bam, look at that. Woo, look at that. That's good. So it hit the top of this one in this week here on Monday, the 29th of March. And then it barely went over this one on April 28th, the 8th of April. And then it hit the top of this week on Monday again on the 20th of May. And then it hit the top of this candle here on the week Monday again of the 29th of July. But it's in a descending mode. Let's go down here to the day chart, and then I'm going to get off of this. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on right this, because I'm getting a lot of messages about the velocity banking and these strategies that we teach. Anybody can do this, by the way. Anybody. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to do that. You just have to be willing to have a change of mind on how you deposit your money. That's all. So you see this channel that it's in right here? Right there. There it is. This is the channel, but you see it's descending. It's going down. Now right here, it's trying to make its way up. Okay. This is very simple charting. Right there. See this right here? It's very simple, but this is the path that it's trying to make. So if it stays on this path right here, somewhere around October of this year, we should be about 80 grand. That's if it can make it through this level right here. Once again, this is just simple charting, okay? All right, I'm going to get to it. I told you I would. This is going to be exciting. Oh, boy. Now, I like to drive a Denali or an Expedition. I've had them all. I think my favorite is the Ford Explorer, the extended one, mainly because that's almost self-driving. That thing right there, like literally you can take it. They don't want you to take your hands off the wheel, but you almost can. Okay. Anyway, I got an old van I drive around in now. No, 2005 Ford van. Listen, that's because the engine stays on. I got my dogs with me. Let's turn the camera around. Hold on one second here. And there it is. Ooh, that's so beautiful. Man, that is so beautiful. I love this. No, I'm not wearing makeup. People ask me all the time, your face is brown. That's because I'm an Indian, okay? I'm going to show you a little bit about this velocity banking and what we did with this lady, okay? You guys, I want you guys to have fun here. Have some fun. Hi, folks. Don't say anything about my shirt. Fly Mackey here, founder and CEO of Smart Money Culture Television. Glad to be here tonight. Don't forget to watch Bruce Porter. He reports out of Washington, D.C. in the morning. And then we have Jane King, who reports from the NASDAQ. Could you believe that? That I could have something like that? Holy cow. All right, let's take a look at this. Hey, I got your sheet for you. Let me put this over the side. Project manager's in. My shirt's a little wrinkled and I'm a little fat. My hair isn't done today. That's okay. I like it. I like it when, you know, they do, when I'm in studio and they do your hair and put makeup on and, you know, they put the right shirt and suit on you, suit coat, stuff like that. I had a guy tell me one time, I leave studio, I go to a meeting, my buddy says, are you wearing makeup? And I go, yeah. And he goes, why? Then I had to explain to him, I'm on TV. He goes, no, you're not. All right, let's take a look at this a little bit, okay? Let's have a little bit of fun. Whenever you buy something, buy what you want. Buy what you want. If you're doing a home improvement project, I always say buy the best. Buy the best. Buy the best. Okay? Pay the premium because you can borrow the money from yourself, like we taught this lady here, and she's literally going to pay herself back all the interest that she was going to pay the bank. Now, let me give you some points on here. So here's a lady who has a $500,000 mortgage, okay? She has $61,000 in equity in the house, okay? She just refinanced. She had hundreds of thousands of dollars. And we showed her this strategy because she already made the decision and already got refinanced, okay? But once again, when you have a loan and you pay the loan, you can't borrow back from the loan. When you have a line of credit, as soon as you pay the line of credit, then you can borrow the money back the very next day. I was with a couple earlier today who said they had 401ks. I love 401ks. They're not made to make you rich. They're made for you to use it. Most people have no clue what 401ks are for. If 401ks were so great as an investment tool, then your employer wouldn't have to match or contribute. It's a losing situation every year. That's why most employers match. And if they don't match, you better be borrowing the money out of there, because that was the original intent of the 401k. All right. Now this lady here, I'm going to slow it down. Let's have a little fun. This lady here has a mortgage for $500,000. She has $61,000 in equity. She can get about 80% of that $61,000. Okay. And with her credit, because she has a 750 credit score, she makes $12,000 a month. She's going to get whatever she wants. Her income is $12,000 a month. Her credit score is 740. She's going to get whatever she wants. Her debt to income is about 58%. So it's a little high, but we're going to teach her some strategies. And anybody can do this. Once again, we are not financial advisors. Anybody can do this. We just happen to teach it to folks so that we can show them how to make their projects an investment. She has a personal line of credit for $10,000. She has a credit card that $10,000. She has a second credit card for $10,000. She has a third credit card for $5,000. These are pretty much maxed out. She's making minimum monthly payments. Why would you do that when you have a $12,000 a month income? Well, almost everyone does this though. Okay. She spends about $11,000 a month in bills out of the $12,000. Okay. But $5,000 of this $11,000 is not hers or in her name. So if she stops paying this $5,000 out of this 12, then, that's going to save her a lot of money. Only $3,048 a month is her mortgage payment on this $500,000. Okay. If she pays this house regularly for the next 30 years, she's going to pay $593,698. $593,698 in interest. Everyone does it. Why why the people do this, I don't know. When you could borrow from yourself and pay yourself back. We're going to take her down this rabbit hole and show her how to do it. She's so excited, man. And I love it when we take our customers and show them this, okay? Now, once again, her bills every month her bills are about $6,000. She's paying $5,000 in bills for her family. That's not her bills, and it's not in her name. So she's going to cut this out. She says she is, and this is a strategy. She's going to want to, in order for this strategy to work, but she's determined, and so she's, when she says it, I believe her. So once she starts this strategy, she'll never go back to paying other people's bills, at least this way, okay? So her actual bills of this $12,000 is $6,000, okay? $3,000 in overhead, food, electricity, cable, insurance, et cetera, and then the mortgage, okay? That's what that adds up to. She pays about $1,000 she has about $1,000 left over every single month. I asked her, what do you do with the $1,000? She says, well, I just sock it away into a savings account. So she's able to accumulate a little money that way. But when you make this kind of money, she's retired, and when you make this kind of money income, there's no reason to be broke or poor. All right. So what we are teaching and what we show people how to do is to take this $500,000. She's going to want to use her line of credit and pay off the mortgage. But that's another step. The first thing we want to do is pay off these credit cards. We want to pay off these 3 credit cards here and this line of credit, because the reason she maxed out this line of credit is because she gave it to us as a deposit. Okay, so she maxed it out. We have nothing to do with this right here. Okay. But once again, I'm going to show you how we're going to pay off this $35,000 over the period of about 5 months. Yeah, it's going to blow you away. Okay. So this is incredible. And let's start with here. Okay, you ready? So $10,000 on the line of credit. This is the line of credit. Okay. She gets paid $12,000 a month. So since she gave us $10,000 of it, the balance on that line of credit is 0. So the very first month, she's going to take $10,000 of the $12,000 her pay, and she's going to pay off the line of credit. Now it's paid off. Her bills every month, her bills are $6,000 a month. Remember, $3,000 on the mortgage, and then she has about $3,000 in other expenses. Okay, other expenses. All right, $6,000. She's going to borrow back the $6,000 so she can pay, and she's going to use her debit card or her line of credit card, like this one right here, $150,000 on that one right there, and which is a line of credit, and in this case she only has $10,000, so she doesn't have a larger line, but she's got a smaller one. But I'm going to show you how this works, and anybody can do this. She's going to borrow back. So in a credit line, just like when I pay this American Express, okay, as soon as I pay this, I get to borrow the money the very next day after that payment clears. All right? When you're paying a loan, you pay the money to them. You don't get to borrow the money back. You're paying it to the fund. They're not giving it back to you. But on a credit line, you put it in, you take it out again. So here, she's going to borrow her bills, $6,000, and pay it just like a debit card. She's going to pay her bills. It's going to bring her balance down to $4,000. But she has $2,000 left out of the $12,000. What is she going to do with that $2,000? Well, she's going to come over here on her $10,000 credit card that's maxed out, that she's paying minimum payments to, and she's going to put $2,000 down. When you put those,
Can I ask you a question?
yeah,
That sheet that I gave you?
right here. I don't think it's complete.
No.
Well, that's what they put down. I got the project manager here, okay? This guy is the shit, man. You want somebody like him. You want to say hello to my audience?
Oh no.
Are you? He don't want to get on TV.
Okay.
We're live on TV. We're live on TV in Corpus Christi, Houston, the 6th largest market in America. And we're in College Station, Beaumont, Texas, and Lake Charles, Louisiana. Yeah, I own a TV network. And what we do, we have a project manager in studio. And what we do is we teach people how to, this is one of the things we do. Like when they buy a remodel a house, or they buy a car, something, we teach them how to use the velocity banking strategies to pay these things off and save themselves tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars in interest payments. We teach them how to save the interest payments and become their own bankers. Okay? And so the very first, this is phase 1 that I'm taking this lady through right here. She's literally going to get her roof, and I'll show you how we're going to do this. But I showed a lady the other day, $20,000 roof, and she used the velocity banking. But when she uses this strategy, her roof is going to cost her, instead of $20,000, about $1,400. Isn't that something? Mm-hmm. That's incredible. Can you believe an Indian can do that? I got some Mexican in me too. I think I got some black in there somewhere, at least from the waist down. That's what I was told. I don't know.
I'll leave this here with you another day. See
I'll have them. Yeah, I'll have them go over it in the morning. Okay.
All right. All right.
Are you locking up?
Yeah, I'm locking the back up.
They're locking up the studio. See you later. Have a great night.
You too.
Okay, so getting back to this, they're going to take $10,000, pay off the line of credit. They're going to borrow the $6,000. That brings the balance down to $4,000. That's month number 1. Okay. They're going to take the other $2,000. They're going to put it towards this credit card. Credit card number 1. That's going to bring this balance down to $8,000. Now we're going on to month 2. Remember, there's $4,000 balance on here. She's going to take her. Now the credit line's only 10 grand. Remember, so they can't deposit more than 10 grand in there. So she's going to take $6,000 of her $12,000 paycheck. She's going to put in the line of credit. That's going to bring the balance, make it whole. Okay. Then she's going to take the other $6,000. Remember, is 6 and 6, right? She's going to take the other $6,000 and she's going to put it down on the payment on the credit card. That's going to bring the balance down to $2,000. She's going to come back over here and she's going to borrow $6,000 to pay her bills, just like she was paying out of her checking account. It's no difference. When I say borrow, she's borrowing the money from her line of credit, but just like it was in her checking account. But instead, it's in the line of credit. And only thing she's doing different is instead of depositing her check into her checking account, she's depositing it in the checking account and transferring it over to the line of credit and paying it down. Okay, so here it brings the balance down to $4,000. It brings this one down here to $2,000. The very next month, she puts, now that brings that to $10,000, right? She's going to deposit $6,000 again. $6,000 again. And it's going to, $6,000 is going to bring the balance back to $10,000. The other $6,000 she's going to pay here. It's going to bring that balance down to $2,000. The very next month, now the balance is $4,000 on the line of credit. She's going to put $6,000 in, half of the $12,000. What is she going to do with the other $6,000? Well, $2,000 of it is going to go here in the credit card, and now this credit card is whole. It's paid for. It took 2 months to pay off the credit card. 1, 2, 3 months to pay off the credit card. Okay? It's paid off in full. Now she has a $10,000 credit line to use. She has $4,000 over here to use. Okay, now let's go to the next month, the 3rd month. And she's going to deposit her $6,000. She's going to deposit the $6,000. I think this is where we are. It doesn't matter. It's in the line. She's going to deposit the $6,000. She's going to borrow back. She's going to borrow back the $6,000. See, borrow. The line going in means she made the deposit. The line going out means she borrowed it. She's going to borrow $6,000. It's going to bring that credit line down to 4, and she's going to put in another $6,000, and then $6,000. Going to bring it up to $10,000 again. Okay. Now, when she does this, we're going over to the second credit card. Okay, because once again she put where am I at here? Bada bing, bada bang, bada bing, bang, bang, bang. Bada bing, bada bang, bang. 8,000, 6,000, 4,000. She puts her $6,000 deposit in here, but it leaves $4,000. Now that this is paid for, but it leaves $4,000 of the $12,000. What does she do with the $4,000? Remember, she put $2,000 here, right? $6,000 went here, $2,000 went here, right? 2,000 deposit went here, brought it home. 2,000 went here, which cleared off this credit card, which leaves her $4,000. What's she gonna do with that 4,000? She's gonna come over here to credit card number 2. She's gonna deposit it in this account, which is gonna drop this credit line from 10,000. She owes 10,000 down to 6,000. Are you watching how this works? I love this. That's completely done. Bam. $4,000, $6,000. Now it's even, right? She put 4,000 in this time. She put 6,000 in the next time. Now she owes nothing on this. This credit card is paid for. Now we have credit card number 2. Okay. So what, or number 3. So what she's going to do is the next month, she's going to take her credit, her $12,000 paycheck, and she's going to put it into, I think we're on month number 5 now, here. She's going to deposit it, or she's going to deposit it right here, and then we'll leave that. It makes this hole right here. She's going to deposit it here. She's going to take the other 6,000, and what's she going to do with it? She's going to come over here to this $5,000 credit card, and she's going to deposit $5,000 into that credit card. It's going to pay this credit card off. It's going to leave her in excess of $1,000. It took her how many months? It took her one. It took her 1. It took her 2. It took her 3. It took her 4. 3, 4. It took her 5 months. So you put your money in here, 10,000, borrow 1 month. Put the money in. Borrow month number 2. Put the money in, borrow month number 3. This is month number 3. Put the money in, borrow month number 4. It took her 4 months to pay off that $10,000 line of credit. It took her 1, 2, 3 months to pay off credit card 1. It took her 1, 2 months to pay off credit card number 2. It took her 1 month to pay off credit card number 3. So in 5 months, 6 months, right? In 5 months, it took her to pay off all this credit. She paid off, in 5 months, she paid off this, and this. $35,000. Her roof is paid for. Bam, done. Done. Just by depositing her income into her lines of credit and then borrowing back the money. $35,000. She paid off her roof in 5 months. Bam! What was her roof cost? $36,000. Her roof cost the cost of her roof was $36,000. In 5 months, she paid it off. Did she pay some interest? Yeah, but not much. Not much interest. If she wanted to carry this out, she could have paid herself back, but she didn't have a big enough HELOC yet. That's phase 2. Now, if she will go through this phase and do exactly what we show her how to do in phase 1 here, phase 1, if she follows this strategy, we will go help her go get a line of credit like a first lien HELOC. Get that first lien HELOC for $500,000. They're easily going to give it to her because her credit score is 740. Her husband's is better than hers. She has, by this time she's going to have about $80,000, almost $90,000 in equity, $30,000, $5,000 in credit, and then she'll be able to go over here, get a first lien for $500,000 and pay this off. Pay it off. Pay it off. And then now she owes her HELOC. Now here's where we're coming into the next phase, which is phase 2. And I love this phase right here. I 100% love it. Bada bing, bada bang. I don't have anybody in studio helping me. I'm doing it all myself. When I'm in Texas, I got a whole team. I'm sitting in the studio in this high chair that's comfortable. They're doing my hair. The makeup artists are doing my hair. They make me look 20 years younger. They put on this makeup. It's not like I like wearing makeup, okay? But they put it on you, and they make you look great. And I put on a blazer with nice shirt. Okay, now let's go to phase 2, okay? Because now we're going to go to the $500,000 mortgage. And this is what got her excited. Let me show you. Y'all don't go anywhere. I'm going to bring up the mortgage calculator. Hold on one second here. This is going to be a lot of fun. Bada bing, bada bang. Bada bing, bada bang. 500,000. It's right here. Do you see it? It's right in front of us. Let me put it up and make it big so you can see exactly what we're doing with her. And we've done this over and over and over and over. We're not a financial institution. Okay? Anybody can do this and anybody can learn this. It's for everyone. So here she has a loan for $500,000 with a 6.125% interest rate for 30 years. She's going to pay, look at this. Pay attention, guys. She's going to pay $1,093,698 for that house at 6%. The interest she's going to pay is $593,698, which is this right here. Hold on a second, guys and gals. This is how much interest she's going to pay on that $500,000. Okay? Now, we're going to show her a strategy of how to pay that interest to herself, or at least pay that down in massive amounts. Okay? Okay. This is what gets me every time. Why we are brainwashed. Like we won't pay for I was in the $80,000 roof. I told the guy, borrow the money. He said, why would I do something that stupid? And I'm like, well, that's a great question, because all those interest payments that you would pay to the bank, you could pay yourself. Why would I do that? Because you're going to spend the money anyway. It's an investment. And those interest payments might as well go to you. Well, I'd rather use cash. Okay. Well, you can use the cash, but why? When you could borrow the money from yourself and pay yourself back. Let me show you how this works. So let's say she gets a first lien HELOC, which she will, okay? And she pays off the mortgage. Bam, done. You don't owe them any more interest. But you do owe yourself now that $500,000, your HELOC, home equity line of credit, okay? Now let's do the math on this, because this is so cool. You just send the auto pay every month to yourself. Auto pay yourself every single month. Go to your bill pay, put in the bill pay, the monthly payment, that $3,000 that she was paying the bank. She should continue to take it out and pay herself. On top of this velocity banking, it's incredible. Watch. We're going over here to this phase right here. Are you ready? This is going to be so cool. Right here. Here's phase 2. $500,000. Okay? She's going to put her entire check in here, because now we don't have to do it in the line of credit. By the way, this line of credit here with her, she's been with them for 30 years. That's the highest credit, that particular credit line. She has other credit lines, but this particular one is the highest it'll go. They've been with them for 30 years. Do you think the bank likes them? No, they hate you. They don't hate you, but they think you're stupid. You're nothing but a dog to them. Okay. She's going to take her $12,000, deposit it in that $500,000. That's going to bring her mortgage down inside her own HELOC. It's not a mortgage, but she owes herself. Bring it down to $488,000. Now, her bills are only $3,000. With the mortgage, that added up to $6,000. Can you see that right here? The money she owed. Let's turn that so you can see that. The money that she owed every month was $3,000 for the mortgage. Her other bills were $3,000. Okay, that's where the $6,000 in bills come from. Okay, and so once she eliminates that monthly payment of the mortgage, the only payment she has now is their $3,000 in bills. Okay, and remember, her income is $12,000. Watch what this does. Are you ready? Watch what this does. So here, she's going to take $400 to $12,000. She's going to deposit. It's going to bring her balance down to $443,600 or zero. She's going to borrow the $3,000 from her bills. It's going to bring her balance back up to $446,000. She's going to deposit the $12,000 the next month. Okay, she's going to borrow the bills back. That brings her balance to $437,000 in just 2 months. Okay, this is so cool. Oh, we started over here. Sorry, $500,000, $12,000, $488,000, $3,000 brings the balance up to $491,000. On the very first month, she has $9,000 in cash flow. $9,000 in cash flow on month 1. The next month, she puts the $12,000 in, brings the balance down to $479,000. She borrows the $3,000. That brings her balance to $482,000. $482,000. Okay? Let's go back up here, 482. The very next month, she's going to put her $12,000 in. That's going to bring her balance down to $470,000. She's going to borrow the $3,000. What the heck? I love Jane King. That was Jane from the NASDAQ. I'm being my own engineer tonight. I have two of them. They don't like it when I mess up their programming. I love it. Come on, let's finish this up. I got about 5 minutes here. Got about 5 minutes, okay? And then I'm going to come back and I may stay on. I don't know. I'm going to come back at 9 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. But here, it's the same scenario. Put the 12 borrow. Put the 12 borrow. Put the 12 borrow. Put the 12 borrow. After 12 months, she's going to be down to $389, or excuse me, yeah, $401,000. 12 months, $389,000. After she borrows the bills, $392,000. After 12 months, $392,000. She'll have paid off in 12 months $108,000 off that $500,000. Now this is the fun part. Watch this, guys. In 1 year, she'll have $117,000 in cash flow. $117,000 in cash flow in that line of credit. In 1 year. 1 year, $117,000 in cash flow. Okay? In 6.5 years, she's going to pay off that entire $500,000. She's going to pay $123,000 in interest payments. She's going to save $514,000. She's going to save $514,001.83 in interest payments. Are you watching this? If she will follow this strategy that we're teaching by putting her just, and the only thing she's doing different, she's doing nothing different. She's not adding any more money. She's not borrowing any money. None of that. Just following this strategy, putting her pay in here, pulling out the money for the bills. And anybody can do this. In 1 year, she's going to have $117,000 in that line of credit that she can use. Remember, it's $500,000. She maxed it out when she paid off the home. In 6.5 years. So after she gets here, she still has 5.5 years to go. In 6.5 total years, she will have paid off the entire $500,000. She's still going to pay $123,000 in interest payments. But here's the biggie, guys and gals. She's going to save $514,001.83. You see that? That's what she's going to save. $514,001.83. It's going to take her 6.5 years with her income to pay off that $500,000 mortgage. That $36,000 roof that she bought was free. Why? Because she saved $500,000 in interest payments. She's got an extra, look at this, 514 minus 36,000 is what? That's 14, that's 8. That's 8. That's 10. That's 7. She's got $478,000 to still invest in something. She's got $478,000 to invest in something. That roof cost her nothing because she was going to pay this in interest. But instead of paying in interest, she got to save it because of this strategy. I love doing this for homeowners. Like, you have the right to be wealthy. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. What's all this? Oh, look at that. Oh, that's for your bottles of like Coca-Cola or something like that. Oh, this is their little put your soda pop in here. That's a hammer. This is their goodies. Box right here. This and a done it for you program. Are you looking for some business credit or even some personal credit? Do you have good credit? 750 or higher? It's easy when all the data points are in place. We have a whole team and a done it for you.
I'm I'm willing to work 3 times as hard to provide the normal stuff.
I believe Seth Blattman will work for us.
We need Seth Blattman in the legislature to lower costs and make housing more affordable.
Vote for Seth Blattman to get the job done for Arizona families.
Today, a 13-year-old girl asked Charlie Kirk such an impressive question.
Oh, holy shit. All right, welcome back. I didn't do it this time. I was playing around with the engineers, and they put me on for another 13 minutes, and I seen it come on. I'm like, okay, I'll get up there. I was just finishing my point on the last one, which I'll do next hour, okay? So we're going to do a 13-minute segment here, going back to regular programming. And by the way, I love Jane King. Jane King has been reporting live from the NASDAQ for 22 years, and I signed her on to my television network. And she is like a reporter's reporter in New York, okay? She swims with the sharks, the billionaires, all those guys up, the money makers up there. Really a great gal. She's my favorite. You guys don't be mad at me for being on my network. We meet a lot of great people, a lot of really nice people here in the business. And some people give us permission to put their stuff on TV, and they come on TV with us. Like this lady right here, she didn't really want to come on TV, but I told her I was going to. And by the way, I'm not giving any names, okay? But this is her deal. Nobody's going to know this but her. But this is an example. And if I could, I'd like to show you. Hold on one second here. This is really cool stuff right here. This is the part that I like the best, because once she moves over to phase 2 and starts working the velocity banking strategy on the mortgage, she'll pay her mortgage off in 6.5 years. Now, I'm going to erase this, not for the next hour, but tomorrow I'll erase this. You know, we got a huge board here, right? Huge board here. I don't know if you guys can see it all. I won't mess with the camera. But and then I'll show the infinite banking, and that's this phase 3 where you actually become your own banker. Anybody can do this. Insurance has been paying dividends of about 6% for over 100 years, 200 years, 200 years. That's the truth of it, plus. But here in the U.S., in our banking system, insurance has been paying out dividends of about 6%, the same 6% for about 200 years, okay? You wonder why every single bank in America, like when they say they're going to go down, the shell may go down, but their business isn't going anywhere. Most banks all have about 3 times the amount of their assets in whole life insurance, which is where their real banking is, than they do in real estate or any other investments. Okay? And why? Because it gives that return every year, and then they get to borrow back from themselves. And when they pay it back, they get to pay the interest back to themselves. You're the one paying it. But this lady is going to take this $500,000 HELOC or line of credit. She's going to pay off her mortgage. Now she's going to pay herself back. And when she pays herself back into this HELOC right here, and by the way, the HELOCs cost 7%, 7 to 11%, but in this case, it's probably going to be around 7. It doesn't matter. but 7%. Her interest rate on this is going to cost her $123,000 over 6.5 years, but she'll have the entire $500,000 paid for. The entire $500,000 will get paid for. This entire $500,000 will get paid for in 6.5 years. She's going to save herself $514,001.83 in interest. What is she going to do with the $514,000? Anything she wants, because she's saving it. So at the end, now this is what most people don't get. Watch. Not only is she going to save that $514,000 in interest payments, but she's going to have $500,000 of line of credit free to use. And the house is going to be paid for. Are you getting this? Are you getting this? Watch. The $500,000 house paid 6.5 years. Paid. She's going to have $500,000 in her line of credit to use. She's going to save herself $514,000 and $1.83 interest savings that she would have had to pay, but she's not going to because she used this strategy here. Can you do the math on this? This is what's called a paradigm swing of $1.5 million. I didn't make this up, folks. I didn't make it up. I was just willing to be coachable and teachable. I was just willing to be teachable. That's all. That's all. I was just willing to be teachable. That's all. I was just willing to be teachable. That's all. And I learned this. I was a broke dick mofo. I was a good broke dick mofo. At least I think I was. I'm not trying to put anybody down, okay? I do this every single night. I've been doing this for several years. Single parent. Just so you know, single parent. Broke most of my life. I can tell you a story. When I was younger, when you become a single parent and your baby, 2 days old, you wake up, you grow up fast, and you're like, okay, stop drinking, stop doing drugs. That was on July 12th, 1986, 38 years ago. I got clean and sober, and then I've been coachable. I tried to be coachable. My real goal was, how do I feed the kids and how do I house them? That was my biggest fears, and it's every parent. But as a man, we're providers. We're hunter-gatherers. We're protectors. We're defenders. We don't go by feelings. Men don't go by feelings. We go by instincts. Then we go by logic. And then we go by emotions. We're made different than a woman. They go by feelings. Thank you. And I'm glad a woman ain't got it like a man. I'm just having some fun, okay? But I am glad I'm attracted to something that's not me. I'm not putting anybody down. I'm just saying, okay? Women are built differently than men. Women go by emotions. Then they go by their feelings. Then they get emotional about it, which is great because this is their makeup. And then they get logical about it. And they go, yes, that makes sense. And then their instincts, which is the first thing we use, is the last thing that they use. And they go, yes, let's do it. It's not that they're not less smart than us. It's just that they think differently. Thank you, ladies. And thank you, guys. Anyway, I think I'm gonna go away here in just a second. I'm Fly Mackey with Smart Money Culture Television. I think we're gonna cut out any second. And when we do, God bless you. We'll be back in about an hour. I think. Let's go here. Thank you for bringing us into your home. I sure appreciate you. Let me take a break for a second. Okay, we are back live again. I was playing the game of solitary on commercial break. I love TV, guys. I love television. I love television. Let's go over some stuff here. This is really what I call the coffee smart move. Okay, and people don't realize this. Some do, but some people just resign themselves to be broke their whole life because they want the instant gratification. By the way, Bitcoin at less than a penny, Nvidia. This is why you make the best decisions are made today, not tomorrow. I want to show you guys something. The average cup of coffee right now is $9 for a cup of coffee. I was with Alex all day today, and he paid $7 for his. But the average is $9. Okay, that means there's a lot of 10, 12, 15 because they're buying some other things there. But $7 a cup. Now everything doubles every 10 years. Things double. I was with the guy today. He said the price that we gave him was the price he got 4 years ago. Well, that's because we gave him a manufacturer installation price, not a retail price. If you go out to the retail and get somebody like us who's licensed, or somebody like the company A1 who's licensed, bonded, insured, who's going to give you a quality install warranty, project manager, going to buy the material years in advance so you have it, bringing out certified crews, people who know what they're doing, the right equipment. What are you willing to sacrifice? Because the prices 4 years ago was, we still have the prices from 4 years ago. But I promise you, there's not a licensed, bonded, insured company out there that's charging what we do today that uses manufacturer install, because we buy our materials years in advance, a year or so in advance, because we already know the jobs. We did 500 jobs last year, 500. Closer to 600 jobs last year. 600. Do the math on that. You want to do the math on that? $26 million just on the new this new roof division on the I shouldn't say new, on the tile, not in counting what companies have done, what we've done in asphalt, not including what we've done in flat roofs, not including what we've done in windows, not including what we did in AC. Now, all that wasn't done with A1, but I'm just trying to explain. They're the sponsor of the show today. I'm just trying to say to you, we're heading towards $100 million a year in business. Why? Because people take advantage of not only our pricing, but what we have today compared to what it was years ago and what it's going to be down the road. The average price of something doubles every 10 years in America, has done historically for the last 90 years, or the last 100 years, excuse me. Okay. Take a cup of coffee, buy $7, 365 days a year, $2,555, give or take. I may be off on that. That's in 10 years, they're going to spend $25,000 on coffee. In 10 years, this is going to double in price. And a cup of coffee, that same $7 is going to be 14, 365 days a year. That's 5,000 times 10 years is $51,000 going into the next 10 years. That $14 cup of coffee is going to be $28. I don't know why I put times that. Times 360. Sorry, times 365 is $10,220. Times 10 years is 102 grand, and then it doubles after 10 years. And that $7 cup of coffee just 30 years ago is now going to be $56. This is just the way it works, guys and gals. And if you don't believe me, you go back and look. Go back and look. In 1924, the cost, hold on a second. 5 days. In 1924, 100 years ago, what you could buy for $1 today costs $18.43, which means inflation has gone up 1,743% in 100 years. 1,743% in 100 years. So this is nothing unusual. This is exactly how it's going to work, because the trillionaires and the billionaires are going to make their money. And here in 10, 20, and 30 years, that $7 cup of coffee is going to be $56, 365 days a year, 20,000, in 10 years, 204,000. In 40 years, this person is going to spend $383,200 in coffee, retail buying. And don't think this doesn't happen, because they've been doing studies on this for 200 plus years. We know this to be exactly true to the penny. This is the way human nature is. That's why poor people are poor. We're not against you poor people. I was poor most of my life. But this is what we do. It's called instant gratification. It is what it is. In 2020, when we had President Trump, and I'm not being political here. We're not doing any politics right now, okay? In 2020, the price of eggs they have the 30-second delay. In 2020, the price of eggs for 1 dozen eggs was 99 cents. Today, the national average is $5.25. 4 years ago, it was 99 cents. Today, that means inflation went up 425% in 4 years. So what normally took 40 years to do, prices have gone up on some things in 4 years. And if you're not being in charge of your own economy, I call this being in charge of your own economy. Listen, I'm not a billionaire, but I should be. This is why I say, listen, your best decisions are made now. NVIDIA, 18 cents. Amazon at $2. I sold it, but I bought it all back at $44. Bitcoin at $0 before it was a penny. Boeing at $44. I love Boeing. I actually bought Boeing my very first time at $13. But my dad took that and then took some of that. And then as an adult, I started buying it at 44. Like 30 years later, I started buying it again, but at $44. $44. You see this? And I made these decisions today. These were today decisions. That's $119. $119 a share. Amazon, I don't know what it is, 171 or something like that. Bitcoin, $64,000. I just showed you that. And these were decisions that were made today. Not tomorrow, because tomorrow ain't promised. There ain't nothing wrong with making a good decision today. So I tell people all the time, the best decisions are made right now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not next year, right now. Why? Because today there is no tomorrow. You don't know when this is going to go to the moon. That's what they say in the crypto world, to the moon. Like NVIDIA, I was talking to a VP over there, and he goes, blah, 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 your roof is this, and your roof is that. And I said, and he was doing some other. I said, yeah, but I bought NVIDIA at 18 cents, and you didn't. He said, how do you know? And I said, because nobody there that works there did. That's why most of those guys that work there are so pissed at themselves and so mad because it went up like it did, and they never expected it to hit $100. And now it's 119 or whatever it is. I don't even look at this stuff because I tell people all the time, and you guys who know me know I went from the outhouse to the penthouse. And from the penthouse back down to the outhouse. I loved when my grandma got sick. My brother, me and Amber were traveling. And Amber, she's like 27 years younger than me. But young and fresh. I love Amber. But we were traveling. And he said, hey, if you want to see Grandma, you better come home. So I tell Amber, we're on the East Coast. All we're doing is traveling. We're watching TV, binge watching TV miniseries in our Ford Explorer extended van, SUV with Capone, traveling all over the country, doing whatever we want. And he said, come home if you want to see her. So we drove back. And I moved in with my brother into Grandma's room. I was in a penthouse then. We moved in from there back in. And this is what I loved about Amber so much. Like, she didn't care about that, that penthouse we had, that $13 million penthouse. She didn't care about the traveling and this and that. Her concern was Grandma, just like ours was. But anyway, me and my brother Mario, we moved into Grandma's room, and that's where we lived for 7 months until she passed away. I used to love to brush her hair every day and braid it. And she goes, would you braid my hair, please? Brush my hair. And I said, yes, I will, Grandma. And we would, Jumper would bathe her, and me and Mario would cook for her, and I'd do her hair. And if she needed to go somewhere, I was one of the only guys in the house that could pick her up. I'd pick her up, loved doing it. It changed. It was like when I was a missionary. Changed my life. I'm telling you now, find the one you love, sing to their eyes, tell them you love them. You may not get a second chance. And so, you know, this is what happens. You today is the day to make your decisions when it comes to money, because there is no tomorrow, and you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And as soon as you learn how to make decisive decisions on your economy, which is all the money that you spend, and the real key is this. The real key is this. Where does every dollar I spend go to? Where does every dollar I spend go to? Who gets it? Like, where do I put it? And then who gets it when I'm spending it? Who gets it? And when I learned how to be in charge of my own economy and be in charge of every dollar that I spend, where does it go? And when I learned how to borrow from myself and then pay myself back, like in my car, which is $90,000, a $90,000 expedition. Okay. So now the payments on this was like $1,000 a month, something like that. But let me tell you how this works. Okay. You can do the math. Let's do the math on this. Let's do the math. Watch this. Watch this on the loan calculator here. $90,000. Interest rate 14%. Loan term 7 years. That $90,000 van, that $90,000 truck turns into $141,674, and that's at 14% over 7 years. Most people take 12 years to pay their car off. I put in 7. Most people put in 12. That $96,000, that $90,000 truck turns into $96,251 in interest. But let's go back to do the 7 years, okay? I want to do 7 years. And they calculate this out right here, right? $51,000 in interest payments. Are you seeing this? Hold on one second. The ad got in there. You see this right here? $51,674.40 in interest. Now imagine this. Okay, now watch. So instead of paying that, at that 41,000 in interest, to the bank. I borrowed this from my bank, my infinite banking system, my infinite banking system. This is my whole life. I borrowed the 90,000 and I paid that truck off. Paid in full. And instead of paying, instead of just incrementally paying that $90,000 whenever I wanted to, $1,686.60. I made my monthly payments to my own bank. I paid myself back at this price right here, and I took that $41,000 and I paid myself. I made 40% on my truck. All right, we are back. All right, we are back. And thank you for staying with us. So what I did was, hold on a second. What I did was I took the $41,000 in interest that I was going to pay the loan company, and I paid myself. So I made money on the truck. No one ever makes money on the truck. I made money on the truck because I was going to make these payments anyway. So if I was going to make them anyway, why not pay myself? Which is what we do. Every car, bam, we're buying ourselves. Every house, we buy ourselves. when we're buying our channels, we buy them ourselves. When we do remodel jobs, we buy them ourselves and pay ourselves back. I was talking to a couple tonight that said they were going to do that out of their HELOC. How smart can you be? I love that. The part that they didn't get was, though, that if they would make those monthly payments of the $500 to themselves, that money they were going to borrow on the HELOC, they would pay themselves back with interest. Like, why would you not do that? Anyway, there you go. That's the strategy right there. I sure love doing this. I mean, I could go on and on and on for days and days and days. And I've got hundreds of examples just like this. Like, we didn't make this up. Rich Dad Robert Kiyosaki does this. Al Thomas does this. Donald Trump does this. I mean, I want to do what the rich people do. And anybody can do this. Warren Buffett does this. Elon Musk does this. You know, the billionaires do this strategy. But anybody can do it. Anybody. From the regular old Joe to the billionaires. Any of us can do this. And this is what I tell people all the time. Just take your auto pay, whatever you were going to pay, and pay. Just put it on auto pay and pay yourself. This is what we did on my brother's van. We borrowed the money from ourselves. We paid the van off, which was $6,000. The monthly payment on this was $300. Now, don't be mad at me for this, but he wanted to pay this off. I said, pay it at $300 a month and pay it whenever you can. Well, he paid us every month for $300 at the 6% interest that we charged him. He paid us $19,000 for that van. But that goes back into our family business, into our banking business. Because he's part of my business, the banking business. He's in there. Part of the whole life. So that $19,000 that he paid there for a $6,000 truck, he would have paid to a finance company. But instead, he paid it into our banking system. He made $13,000. We made together $13,000 on that $6,000 van just by him putting his auto pay on and paying it. Bam, just leaving it alone. And there you go. Isn't that amazing? And you can do this too. Let's sit down for a second. I want to sit down the last few minutes. I don't think I'm going to be live for the next hour. Normally I'm live from the midnight hour. And I love doing this at night. I get up at 4 a.m. I'm telling you, it's going to be a late nighter. It always is. Let me get the camera back on myself. Y'all just look at that for a second. I might do one more show. And I know that guy. We're being sponsored tonight by A1 Roofing Solutions. These guys are the best, in my opinion. Licensed, bonded, insured. They do manufacturer install. They have certified roofers. These guys go above and beyond. They give money to the community. They're always helping out the poor. These guys always go above and beyond. I was reading some notes from one of the sales guys. They went out to make a sale. That's what we do. We sell roofs, okay? Or they sell roofs. And I was reading one of the notes of one of the sales reps, and the guy didn't want to buy. He just didn't want to buy from us. But he was sick, and his wife was sick, and they were old and a little fat like me. And the representative just wrote him a simple message and saying, hey, forget the roof. Now this wasn't me. I'm bragging on somebody else, but he said, and this is true. He says, can I come help you in any way? What can I do for you? Okay. And so, sometimes people go in and they clean the houses for them or something like that. It's just a small thing. That's what I really like about this company. They're great people. Okay. So anyway, you choose what you want to do in life. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. And by the way, I'm supposed to be live again. I'm supposed to be live for the next hour. I don't think we're going to, but let's see. I really love teaching the velocity banking. Oh, gotcha. Let's go over here. Let's look at Bitcoin just real quick, okay? Now, this is the trajectory that it could be going in. It could go in this trajectory right here. Not saying it's going to, but it could. You see this line right here? This is the line. Now, it did it here too, but look, it came back down. It did it here too, but it came back down. It did it here too, came back down. Did it here too, came back down. Did it here too, came back down. You see this? It's done this many times, and now it's on this trail right here. So let's see what happens. Let's look at our debt calculator. I love this debt calculator. Look at this. Oh boy. US debt clock. I really like using the US debt clock. Here it is right here, boys and girls. You see this right here? 35 trillion, $402 billion that we're in debt. You see this? These guys do not like the federal government. Look at this right here. It didn't have the Ponzi scheme up here. I love it when they put the Ponzi scheme up here. Look at this. 35 trillion. Our country is right now, our economic system is built on debt and credit. And if you don't have debt, you're not even playing in the game. If you don't have credit, you're not even playing in the game. You're not even playing if you're not in this right here. People say all the time, why would I want to be in debt? Well, why would you want to spend up your cash? That's what I want to know. Why? Anyway, I'm Fly Mackey with Smart Money Culture Television. Thank you so much, the great state of Texas and Louisiana, that we have our stations in, our channels in. Thank you for the rest of the world, wherever you're at watching us. And I can tell this, we are so grateful. Thank you for letting us teach you our velocity banking and infinite banking strategies. Thank you for trusting us, those who have trusted us. We're nobody special. All we do is the things that other people won't do. That's what makes what we do really amazing. But we're no different than you. We're no better than you. We're no richer than most of you. But what we have learned how to do is take our own economy in our own hands and be in charge of it. We know where every single dollar that we make and that we spend, we know where it goes. And we know where we take it from, which is even more important than where it's getting paid to. That's the way it works, guys and gals. Make your home improvement projects an investment, not a liability, or not an expense. And if you have a mortgage and you're paying all that interest, you're stupid. I've been saying this to people for years and years and years. I get remarks when I say that, going, why do you talk that way? Well, because who would not want to save hundreds of thousands of dollars in interest? Somebody who's stupid. Don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at me. You can't take life so serious, okay? Seriously, don't take life serious. Have a little fun once in a while. I say a lot of stuff. I'm still looking for the guy who shit my pants this morning. Halfway through the day, I found out, oh my goodness, it was me. Anyway, we've had a lot of fun. Always have a lot of fun. Thank you for letting us come into your home. If you want to know how to get credit, go to smartmoneyculture.tv/credit and you can hire us. Doesn't cost that much. And in the first round of funding, the typical person gets $50,000 to $150,000, or excuse me, $300,000 in 0% business credit cards. It's not what you get in the beginning, it's what you wind up with. Okay, which can be millions of dollars. It's there for everyone to have. We live in an economy where everyone can be wealthy. Don't believe in racism. Believe in what you can do for yourself and what you can teach your kids. This is Fly Mackey for Smart Money Culture Television. We love you. Have a great night.